Radial engines, pushback trucks, and superbikes were just some of new releases last week for the simulation world. Hi there folks, my name is Wing24 and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for all your simulation release news and goings on from the week that was. So here we are on Sunday the 25th of February for another episode, and we're going to jump straight into it this week with Microsoft Flight Simulator releases, starting with the team over at Orbix releasing their latest airport. Well, I say their latest airport, but it is another case of their dragging one of their legacy ESP releases, kicking and screaming into the 21st century with the release of 74S Anacortes Airport for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So this is a single runway ops. It is an absolute classic from the old legacy ESP days for a GA aviation airport. That was a lot of fun to fly out of. I know it was in my collection, and it is kind of cool. And it is once again cool to see this airport getting some love and bringing brought to life once again in the latest iteration of the Microsoft Flight Simulator franchise. Single runway ops, GA airport, so tube liner pilots, this probably isn't going to be for you, but for VFR flyers, or for those of wanting to grab yourself a $100 hamburger, this is probably going to be on your radar. I'm just going to say that on my initial thing, when I saw that this was being released, I must admit that I was a little bit concerned over some of the recent, updates from Orbix when they've redone airports from their old legacy ESP days and brought them into Microsoft Flight Simulator. Those who may have caught my review of the Twin Pack, I was quite frankly fairly disappointed by it. But having said that, looking at the screenshots from this latest release here from Andreas Hege over as part of the Orbix team, this one looks like they've learnt their lessons. I mean, I can't guarantee it, but it definitely does look like they have learnt their lessons from some of their last couple of port overs, and have actually really gone down and given it a really good makeover. Not just a quick and dirty port over. It looks like they've actually given it a full-fledged makeover. And overall, from looking at the screenshots and screen caps that have been published by Orbix, it is looking pretty damn good. So if you're looking for a new GA airport to fly out of in Microsoft Flight Simulator, then this is probably going to be one that you may want to consider. And if you want to add this one to your collection, you pick this one up for $12 or your regional equivalent, available now from Orbix Direct. Next on the airport release radar this week from the team over at Field Air Simulations. This week saw the release of their edition of Salt Lake City Airport in Utah. So this airport comes with high detail. We're just reading off their sort of summary of it. High detail buildings, all airport buildings modeled as the airport appears in 2023. With custom ground poly used throughout, with high-resolution textures, as well as a fully support for animated jetways and a support for the animated Trax Green Line train in the surrounding area. Updated runway lighting and a variety of custom ground clutter to improve your simulated experience. That's pretty much the description here. Looking at the screenshots, though, the overall airport doesn't look too bad, and it's really weird. But they published a few shots of the interior of it, and for some reason, I absolutely say that sometimes I think the interior modeling of airport terminals is a little overdone. But this is one of the few ones where I'm sort of like, they've done the interior, but it's a very basic interior, but I suppose at the same time, at least it brought it to life. It's really weird. Why am I talking about the interior of a terminal for a flight simulator? I really don't know, but it's just one of those weird things that struck me when I was looking at the images for it. However, having said that, looking at the overall airport, it looks pretty good. The ground poly looks pretty good. The ground textures overall look pretty good as well. So if you're into the tube liner flying and you're wanting to explore Utah, then this is probably going to be the airport for you. If you want to pick this one up, you pick this one up for $20 or your original equivalent, available now from Field Air Simulations. Continuing on with more airport releases now, this time from the team over at A.R Sim. So this week, the release of Tripoli International Airport in Libya. There is sweet FA when it comes to the developer's description on this one, and I'm just straight up gonna say that looking at this one, it's like this airport, like the developer of this airport has done like some of the stuff that looks like they've done pretty good like detail on, but then there are other parts, like for example, it's painfully obvious that they are using the default photoreal imagery for the airport. They're not using any custom ground imagery or any custom ortho imagery for it. The ground polys and the ground textures, there's just something wrong with them. I can't, like, some of it, like some of the edges of like around the edges of the taxiways and the runway, that's just absolutely god awful looking repeating textures. The rest of the ground polys, like the tarmac, there's just something off about it. In fact, actually, you know what? There's just something off about this whole, like all the screenshots. I'm looking at it and going like, some of it looks good. Like, yeah, it's good. It's got the custom ground materials, so ground vehicles suitable for the airport, all the airport buildings. From a quick 30-second look over on Bing Maps, it looked like, the buildings are there, but there's just something off about all of them, and I don't really know what it is. I can't quite place my finger on it, but this release just looks off. I don't know why. I'd have to defer to somebody who knows the airport in far better detail than I do. But for me, yeah, I would be questioning whether if I desperately wanted to fly into Libyan airspace, then maybe that would be why I would get it. But overall, buyer beware was what I'd say with this one. If you are wanting to add this one to your collection, though, you can pick this one up for $20 or your original equivalent, available now from Sim Markets. Continuing on with airport releases, and this time moving back to Europe with the release of Lommis Airfield in Switzerland. So this is a small GA airport, a grass runway, which is a very active field for small GA aircraft, particularly for flight training, with extensive use being extensively used for private pilot training. Includes all airport buildings as it is laid out in 2023, with handmade custom ground textures from custom topographical aerial images of the region. Includes a variety of static aircraft, a fully working clock at the airport, custom windsocks, and a variety of special details to help increase and liven up the atmosphere of your airport experience. And for me, this one is a real chalk and cheese compared to the last one. It might be an airport that is probably a 20th or a 50th of the size, and yet somehow this airport just feels so much better. Now, if you want to add this one to your collection and to give yourself somewhere to go in Switzerland, you can pick this one up for $8 or your regional equivalent, available now on Sim Markets. Sticking with Microsoft Flight Simulator, but moving to releases of a different stroke now. The team over at SoFly released their latest in their Explore series with the release of Explore Canada. So Explore Canada is a series of flights which allows you to explore Canada and learn about over 120 of Canada's most culturally and visually exciting places. And it is designed to be combined with the free Canada World Update from Microsoft for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Includes audio descriptions of 120 landmarks, points of interest, and other important locations, all fully voiced with the latest audio technology, and it gives you a variety of flying experiences, whether you wish to fly a fixed wing or whether you wish to take your life into your hands and fly a frantic palm tree over each of these cities. This release, these are kind of like, in some ways, I kind of like the SoFly Explore series because it takes the world updates that we get for Microsoft Flight Simulator and gives them more, and it makes them more so. And I think in some ways, I kind of wish that Microsoft would actually contract SoFly to do these, because I feel that these are so much better than the Discovery flights that you get given included with the free update. But this is a perfect companion And in fact, the entire of the Explore series from SoFly are perfect companions if you're looking at learning more about the world in which we live. Now, if you want to pick this one up, you can pick this one up for $10 or your original equivalent, available now from your favorite flight sim retailer. And sticking with the idea of adventure flying, so the team over at Perfect Flight released the latest of their adventure packs this week with the release of their Pilatus Porter Adventures for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So this is pretty much bog standard affair from the team over at Perfect Flight, with releasing a series of it's a pack of bush trips, which give you a bit of information about some of the points of interest of the areas that you're flying in. This particular one gives you 8 different flights around the world using the default Microsoft Flight Simulator 40th anniversary Pilatus Porter PC6 Porter. In a variety of different roles. You get to experience everything from soaring over the mountains in Colorado to flying along the Caribbean coastline of Mexico, all the way through to visiting the Swiss Alps. So there are quite a few different trips available for you to enjoy. One of the things that I have mixed feelings about a lot of the stuff from Perfect Flight is that the missions use real-time day and weather when you're flying rather than being preset by the scenario. Now, they claim that that's so that your trips are always you always get to fly in different conditions, so you can refly them at different times and what all the rest of it. And it's like, well, that's kind of not the point of these flights, but anyway. You can change it to whatever daytime you like, so you don't have that restriction, which a lot of other bush trips, including the ones that I make, do have on them. So it is, it is up to you. You can do it how you want. But yeah, this is one of the things that I've never liked about how Perfect Flight do their mission packs. I don't like it. It's a personal preference, but yeah, for some people they enjoy it. Anyway, if you are wanting to add this one to your collection, you pick this one up for $15 or your original equivalent, available now from Sim Market or the InSim Marketplace. And rounding out the Microsoft Flight Simulator releases this week, the team over at Aerosoft this week released their released their Pushback Pro Toolbar. So for those who may think that name sounds awfully familiar, that is because the actual original Toolbar Pushback is actually a freeware product that has been around since pretty much the beginning of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. This is a pro version of this one. Now, the first good thing is that the free edition remains free and continues to be available from FlightSim.to. They're not pulling the free one off the market. The free one will still be available there for everybody to continue using. However, this is the Pro edition that adds in some new features both now and new planned features for the future. Summary is the big one is for our Xbox family. The Xbox family can now actually can actually use this tool because they can't because they can't get anything that's not available from the InSim Marketplace. But the other big one that this one really adds in is it adds full VR compatibility support, as well as support for add-on aircraft, which the freeware one was very limited with what non-core aircraft it would actually be able to support. So there's a few things coming through on this one. They're planning a few things that they've overhauled the audio to actually make it use the Sim's native preferred audio codec of WWise, as well as offering a few other features. So if the free one has been good for you and fulfills all your needs and you don't really need anything else, then you could probably stick with the free one. But if you're finding the free one was short and it was just not quite doing what you needed to do, or wasn't in the language that you wanted, or that you fly in VR and you still want to make use of this tool, then it is probably something that you are going to be wanting to switch over to the Pro version. And if you are wanting to pick up the Pro version, you pick this one up for $10 or your original equivalent, available now from Aerosoft. Sticking with flight simulation, but moving from Microsoft Flight Simulator into something far more combat orientated, the IL-2 Sturmovik team released a new set of collector aircraft this week with the release of the I.A.R 80A and 80B. Now, the I.A.R 80 is a fascinating little aircraft. It is a Romanian aircraft that was built towards the end of the 1930s as the drums of war were starting to beat throughout Europe, and it was designed as Romania's frontline fighter aircraft, and is comparable to many other designs. It is a radial engine, low wing, cantilever monoplane with a radial engine, armed with several machine guns. That was 13.2 millimeter machine guns, and would serve with the Romanian Air Force all the way through from before the start of the Second World War, all the way until into the post-war period. Now, this takes on specifically. This looks for the 80A and 80B, which is the 80A was the short nose variant, and the 80B was the long nose variant. But the Sim variation does support a number of sub modifications that came with the aircraft that the aircraft was developed into later in its life, including the C and M series and the 81 series of fighter bombers, which included the ability to drop high explosive ordnance. So it comes with a highly detailed 3D model of all the different variations included, as well as custom and accurate flight dynamics as per the technical manuals, along with a considerable number of historically accurate liveries, as well as customizable liveries for your in-game usage. And if you want to pick this one up and add this one to your IL2 Stromovic collection, you can pick this one up for $25 or your original equivalent, available now from Steam. Moving out of the world of flight simulation now and moving into the world of the permanent way, the team over at Dovetail Games and RSSLO have released their latest track add-on for Train Simulator Classic with the release of Rudolfsbahn, Bruck on der Meer, Selzthal, and Knittelfeld. So this is a Austrian route that it dates back into the late 1800s, but this is how it appears in the early 2020s. This includes over 120 kilometers of the Rudolfsbahn route from Bruck an der Meer to Selzthal and Knittelfeld. Includes all stations along the route, authentically modelled, as well as custom scenery objects to give you an authentic Austrian experience. It also includes the OBB 116 electric motive unit, along with a number of freight and coach rolling stock for your travelling and experience pleasure. You get 5 career scenarios included, as well as a number of quick drive scenarios to be able to get you up and on the tracks as soon as possible, as it was accurately modelled train simulation systems as always. And if you wanted to add this one to your collection, you can pick this one up for $35 or your original equivalent, available now on Steam. And rounding out the NovaWrap for this week, the team over at Milestone released their latest DLC and the last DLC in their Season 5, their Season 5 Season Pass, with the release of their Speed with Style Pack. So the Speed with Style Pack includes 5 new motorbikes, along with a new track, the Fuji Speedway. So of the 5 bikes that you get, these are all where you get two track bikes, along with a number of bikes that pay homage to historical bikes of the past. So you get the Aprilia RSV4X Trenta, you get the KTM RC8C, Moto Guzzi MGS01 Corsa, MV Augusta Super Veloce 1000 Serie Oro, the Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RR are all included with this pack. As I said, this is included. If you already had the Ride 5 Season Pass, then this DLC is already included. But if you don't, and you just want to add this one to your collection, you pick this up for $10 or your original equivalent, available now on Steam. Well, that rounds out the news for the week, but one final bit of news that is not related to releases, but is still super important, especially to the flight simulation community. So, for those in the flight sim community, you may have been aware of the challenges faced by the team over at FS Expo for hosting this year's event that was scheduled to be happening at the Tropicana in Las Vegas in June, when they made the announcement a few weeks ago that the whole thing would be a smoking pile of rubble because they're knocking the building down when they were supposed to be holding the event. So instead of trying to host it in a pile of rubble and a construction site, the team at FlightSimExpo have been working stupidly hard behind the scenes to try and secure a new venue. And this week they announced and they confirmed that not only have they found a new venue, it is still going to be happening in Las Vegas, and it is going to be happening on the same weekend. So everything that is going to be the same, and that is really, really great news for what is truly America's community-driven flight simulation expo. And as for knowing the team as well as I do, having known them for many, many years through to the second iteration of the second evolution of FlightSimExpo, I am so proud of them that they've been able to come together like this, and the community as well has supported them along the way to be able to ensure that not only has they and we as a community been able to get through the challenges of this, but we've come out better on the other side. So it will be happening the same dates as original, but this time we'll be moving, the expo will be moving to the Rio as the new venue of choice. And this is very, very important for me because, yes, it is official. I will be going to FlightSimExpo in 2024. I'm very, very excited about that. It is something that the irony for me when I saw the announcement was that I literally 24 hours before that announcement, I had booked my tickets. I paid for my accommodation. I'd getting ready to book the airfare, and then I saw that announcement and I was like, okay, what is going on? This is rather terrifying, and I am incredibly grateful to the community for the support that they've shown me, and they've shown all of our fellow members of the community, particularly those who are traveling from other parts of the world to come and attend this fantastic event. But yeah, so the team at FlightSimExpo have done an absolutely amazing job behind the scenes to be able to move everything and to be able to get everything organized for the new venue. So stay tuned over on the FlightSimExpo website and on their Discord for further details. And don't worry if you have if you had already booked your accommodation for the Tropicana, there is a process that's going to be able to sort of shift everything over to the new venue. So that's good. That's really, really great news. And it's also really, really great news, as I said, especially for those aviators, virtual aviators who are going to be coming in from outside of the US. So great news all round for that one. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody once again, all the community once again at FlightSimExpo. And if you haven't already booked your tickets, now is a really great opportunity. So definitely keep an eye out on FlightSimExpo's website for the new details of the new venue when it comes to live, because as I said, I was there last year. I had so much fun meeting so many diverse members of our community, and it really did reinvigorate me to be able to continue doing what I'm doing. And it just really shows how much our community does support each other. So congratulations to the team at FlightSimExpo for working through what was an incredibly challenging few weeks as you had the venue taken away from under you. And I am looking forward to seeing many of you once again at FlightSimExpo as a media partner. So stay tuned for further details, and look out for the videos after that. And I look forward to seeing you there. And with that, folks, that does now round out the NovaWrap for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by following me on Facebook and on Twitter and on Twitch. Just search NovaWing24. All right, folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.